today is the last day where everybody's going to be going home. Yesterday was the last touring day and also the busiest day. They first started off going to the Nijo Castle, which is right across the street from our hotel yesterday. So we loaded up the bus, walked across the street, and went to the castle. Got to see and hear a little more history about the samurai and the changing over of the governments from the samurai government to the more traditional government, to the emperor's government. After that, we jumped on the bus and went out to a kimono fashion show. It was more situated in a kind of like almost like a store or a department store. We all stood around a stage and watched one at a time as the models came out with the kimonos on. Very short, only 15 minutes. Very crowded as well. Then after that, we went on to pick up a modern day geisha and take pictures with her. It was actually, we were supposed to pick her up. We met her and her partner, I guess, someone who helps make sure that the geisha is safe or helps carry the kimono, and because it's very long. We met them in a little private area in a park and took pictures with her. Got to ask questions if anybody had any. After we were done with that, that was only about 15 or 20 minutes. We got back on the bus also and went off to see the Kinkaku-ji. It was the Golden Pavilion is what it's called. Basically a temple that has gold papers all over it. You can walk around through this huge garden area of it. Also where people would be throwing these coins or their yen to try to get into a bowl to have either good luck or some wish made. After the Golden Pavilion, we then went to the Kiyomizu temple, which also had this really old type stores going all the way up. Very touristy type shop with a lot of different Japanese articles. And at the Kiyomizu temple, people did a lot of walking around, and there's this area where you can, I guess, either wash or drink water from that comes out of these pipes that you it has some another superstition or meaning of long life, good health, or good love. But it was cut into the mountainside, so it was a long walk up the street that had all the shops. It's almost like a swap meet type of atmosphere that it seemed like. People very pushy trying to get their sales. Stores are very, very packed as far as merchandise of all these little trinkets and tourist type items. Well, after that temple, actually we went to go to ride the Shinkansen, the bullet train. We then went to have lunch. I had lunch at a place that had hamburger steak, which was really good. So it started to get a little more with beef in it, where typically we didn't have very much beef throughout the early part of the lunch. I really enjoyed the hamburger steak, and it was just at a regular restaurant in the middle of the city, next to a McDonald's. Now at the bullet train ride, we jumped on the train. It was about maybe a 15 to 20 minute ride only. Very, very fast. The bus driver met us in the city that we were meeting. He had about an hour and a half ride, so we only had a 15-minute ride. That's the difference of how fast a bullet train can get there. After getting off the bullet train, then transferred onto a subway, which I thought was pretty brave of the tour guide to go ahead and put us on a subway with 11 of us together. But luckily the subway wasn't too packed, so we were all able to get on very safely and all get off together. Then we were in the middle of a really huge shopping area called Shinsaibashi in Osaka, where there are a lot of interesting people there. You get to see a lot of the cultural things that people, how they dress, and in this Osaka area, they're very, I guess, try to keep up to trends and very unique ways. They're very colorful, is the way the tour guide put it. A lot of colored hairs and a lot of makeup and a lot of colorful clothing, not typically what you see in the other cities. In this area, we had about an hour and a half to 2 hours of shopping to go ahead and do, so it was already getting later in the afternoon because we were meeting back up at 6 during the shopping period. We had breakfast very early lunch at about 11:30ish when we finished. So this made for a very long day, because after the 6 o'clock meeting, we all get on the bus. It was about an hour ride to our dinner place, which was an extraordinary experience for a lot of people. Who there's actually a little cooking area, barbecue in the middle of the table, and you basically go down for a buffet and you grab your raw meats, put on a plate, go ahead and sit at your table, and you start to cook your foods there with a lot of all-you-can-eat sushi. So there was a lot of food to eat in that dinner. It was really, really good. After we all got back onto, we were a lot of tired eyes. A lot of people were saying that they were just exhausted at dinner time, getting off the bus, because it's more like about 7 o'clock or so. So the good thing is that you get your food and you pick it up. You can already start cooking, and of course, because it's buffet, there are a lot of already cooked foods, or even the sushi. If you like the raw, you could eat sushi quite quickly without having to wait for anything to be made. The greatest thing about this is that it seems like the restaurants are very prepared for us. Whenever we get seated, the food comes in within minutes. After having dinner, we came to the hotel to check in at the Nikko Kansai Airport Hotel. She gave instructions of to call her at the room, and that she wanted to go ahead and walk everybody over to the airports or wherever they were leaving from. Our particular vacation, we're going to be heading off, catch the bullet train out to Hiroshima. That's one thing that this tour does miss as far as a very historical site. But I was talking to the travel agent, and it's understandable why. She was saying that there's a lot of sorrow, which understandably there is, because of Hiroshima being a place where the U.S. had dropped the atom bomb. A few others from our group actually will be going down to far south in southern Japan to Okinawa as well. So I guess if you have arrangements to be made after it, the travel agency is phenomenal at actually helping people get that put together. But I will talk about it.